Hey, welcome to Bianchi Law Talk down here in Ocean Grove, New Jersey, right by Asbury Park. Having a great time down here with the family. Hey, we're going to talk today about this. Sorry, I'm always trying to figure out how to manage this recording device. Talk about Omarosa and this wiretapping scenario, or tape recorded conversations, if you will. Hello, Mark and Angela. Great to see you. And so, what does this one party consent mean, and what doesn't it mean? Well, there are 12 states that have a two-party consent rule, which means if you intercept a conversation, both parties have to consent to that conversation being intercepted in order for it to be lawful. It's the Wiretap Act. Each state has it, and there's a federal law, and it can be kind of complex, and people can get themselves into a lot of trouble if they don't know these laws. So I've been asked on the formal media hits that I've done this week about Omarosa and whether or not these tape recorded conversations are lawful. And the answer is, so far, they appear to be lawful because she was in one party consent state, which New Jersey is, and most states are, which means only one party has to consent to the tape recorded conversation in order for it to be lawful. So far as the Wiretap Act is concerned, the recordings that she has released have in fact been lawful. Now, what she's intercepting on those recordings could be a problem, especially if they relate to any kind of credentialed or classified information. But so far, that has not been released. So far, while it may be unethical, you may not like it, the fact of the matter is, lawfully, if she's in a one-party consent state, she can record that conversation. Where do people get in trouble with this? Well, we've had a couple of cases, and one in particular when I was prosecutor, where originally the one party that consented to the recording for an employment reason, because she felt she was being retaliated against, was lawfully recording a conversation with another person that she thought was doing unlawful things. But she then walked out of the room and left the recording device on, and it intercepted conversations between two people, neither of which knew the recording device was on. At that point, what was at first a lawful activity became an unlawful activity because she intercepted conversations between two non-consenting parties, and that changed the conversation and actually her life for the worse, because she actually presented the conversation in a lawsuit, and when they found out about it, it got forwarded to the prosecutor's office for a violation of the Wiretap Act. So we have these recording devices. Last point I want to bring out on this is that one of the hosts, anchors on the shows, asked a really interesting question of me. I wasn't anticipating the question, but she asked me whether or not I believe that these recordings that people do all the time are a good idea. And I told her that in my practice of law, certainly in the law enforcement side, and even as a private attorney, we have actually told clients to intercept conversations. We explain what is lawful and what isn't in order to document maybe unlawful activity. So it can have a very powerful effect in terms of gathering evidence in a case, but you have to make sure your client does it carefully. But those are people that are typically doing it defensively. They're doing it for a reason of capturing a conversation because they believe something wrong is occurring. This is a little bit different when you have individuals that are doing things offensively. They're just recording conversation after conversation after conversation in order to get dirt on people and to use it against them as a wedge down the road should they decide they're no longer friendly with that party. So I see it as two different things. And I had one case in particular, it'll be my last point, where there was allegations of unlawful activity of police officers occurring inside of a store. And I told basically the owner of the store to get a video recording device and put it in there and see if he could capture the activity, and he did. And boy, it helped him out when he was falsely arrested, and actually led to a civil rights case against the police officers and the town, because it was clear their reports were falsified, his arrest was falsified, and his prosecution was falsified. Of course, obviously, he was found not guilty because the tape showed that the reports that were written in the arrest was not, in fact, accurate. In fact, it was untruthful. So there can be very powerful reasons why people do it for the right reasons. Of course, we can be very suspect of people that are just doing it. But you got to be careful. If you are going to do it, you got to make sure you understand the federal Wiretap Act, the state Wiretap Act, what the laws are, so you don't get yourself into trouble. Hey, thanks for watching, Angela, Colleen, Mark, and all those others who are on. I always appreciate your support. Hey, if you haven't already, please join the fan page on Bianchi Law Talk on Facebook, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, my new YouTube channel at Robert Bianchi ESQ, and love to have you guys share this with your family and friends if you find it informative. We'll be back next week on Sunday, not at the Jersey Shore, unfortunately. Bianchi Law Talk at 10:30. Thanks as always. Bye.